What is 21st century literacy? Is it simply the latest education buzz phrase that we're all being forced to learn about? Or is it something that can help us? Indeed, is it a single thing? Through this presentation, you will learn about 21st century literacy, what it is, why it's important, and how to use your knowledge in the maths classroom to enhance teaching and learning. Let's take it step by step. 21st century. Despite the fact that the phrase 21st century is often used to describe the future, 21st century classrooms, 21st century technology, 21st century jobs, we've actually been living in the 21st century for almost 20 years now. The future is now. The 21st century is an inherently social era to live in. We're constantly connected with the world, news, friends, family, and a wealth of both good and bad information. It's all at our fingertips. On to literacy. There are many definitions of literacy. The English syllabus describes it as a synthesis of language, thinking, and contextual practices through which meaning is shaped. Some would describe it as 2 of the 3 R's of education: reading and writing. We math teachers provide the third with arithmetic. The mathematics syllabus describes it as the skills to learn and communicate confidently, and includes listening, reading and viewing, writing, speaking and creating print, visual and digital materials among those skills. 21st century literacy encompasses the 5 semiotic systems: linguistic, visual, oral, gestural and spatial. Much of the information we and our students encounter on a daily basis is in fact multimodal, meaning that it uses more than one semiotic system. 21st century literacy is literacy for a changed world. It is inherently social. James G. tells us that we don't just read and write. People interact with the texts they see and create. Games, law, religion, work, and yes, maths, all have their own contexts and specific uses of the various semiotic systems. 21st century literacy is linked with students' core identity. They define themselves using multiple literacies in a multimodal world. It is difficult to speak then about literacy without acknowledging that in the 21st century we're really talking about multiple literacies which are situated in endless social contexts. What do we mean by social contexts? Informal learning is now a significant aspect of our students' lives, and the majority of learning now occurs outside of the formal classroom setting. Know-how and know-what is being supplemented with know-where, the understanding of where to find the knowledge needed. Students today message, tweet, Google, post, and create their way through their lives. Our students are growing and learning in a connected world, and we must meet them there, harnessing their knowledge and teaching them how to use technology for growth rather than distraction. So what does this mean for us as maths teachers? Surely literacy, or literacies, is the responsibility of the English department, or at least the humanities subjects. Not true. If we look at the core of the mathematics syllabus, we have the concept of working mathematically. This set of skills, communicating, problem solving, reasoning, understanding, and fluency, is threaded throughout the syllabus and inherently connected to literacy. These skills are critical to meeting the syllabus outcomes. We want students to be confident and creative users and communicators, able to interpret situations. We want students to develop understanding and recognize connections. We expect them to analyze, to interpret, and to represent situations in their everyday lives. We want them to be literate. So how can we address 21st century literacies in our classrooms? As I said earlier, it is in our interest to enter the world of our students. We need to be active creators of content and participate in social media. Many of you probably already use some form of social media. Taking advantage of this for teaching purposes is a natural next step. When social networking is introduced to the classroom, students are enthusiastically engaged and place more value on their work as it is now being shared with the wider world. Cope and Calancis, using their experience from the New London Group, defined a pedagogy to use in teaching in a multiliterate world and speak of knowledge processes that may prompt us, as teachers, to extend our repertoires. The knowledge processes are experiencing, both the known and the new, conceptualizing, that is, giving students the meta-language to name and understand, analysing, both functionally in processing knowledge and with the critical eye needed in the information era, and applying, using their knowledge appropriately and creatively in real-world contexts. An example of using a multiliterate pedagogy in the mathematics classroom could be in a statistics lesson. Base the lesson on student experience by using real-world data, perhaps that gathered via an online survey created by the students. Students can be taught specific language and visual representations and the meaning of terms such as clusters, gaps, outliers, that allows them to conceptualize their understanding. They can be shown how to cast a critical eye when examining the data for context and bias. Have the questions they use skewed the data? Are the results statistically relevant? In answering these questions, they can apply their new knowledge using reasoning, gathering further data, or brainstorming solutions to a given problem. This is just one example, which uses a familiar situation and tools to extend classroom learning and situate their knowledge in a context that is relevant. It is important to integrate technology in a meaningful way in the classroom. However, we should also be flexible with its application and think beyond tools specific to education. Create a blog, a wiki, a Twitter or an Instagram feed. Take advantage of hashtags, labels, and categories. Have your students create their own content or share the content they've already created. Even a handwritten problem or solution can be snapped using a simple document camera or phone and uploaded as an image or video to a feed in seconds. Social media can enable traditional teaching methods to be more effective. Revision notes can be tagged, searched, and modified. Students can converse with and learn from one another. The teacher can act as a facilitator and a moderator of learning, connecting numbers, formulas, and statistics with real-world scenarios and authentic problems to solve. In conclusion, maths can often be seen as boring and passive, with students simply being receptacles for a bunch of formulas that they later regurgitate. It is viewed as having no use beyond the classroom it is taught in. It is up to us as teachers to change this view. By using a multiliteracy pedagogy, we can help our students to become confident and creative users of mathematics in their technology-rich, multimodal, social worlds.